We are Salling Group. We have 50,000 employees, 1,500 stores, present in 4 countries. We have 6 major online channels, and the business started in 1906. So we've been doing this for a long time. Business was founded by not this guy, but his father. He opened the first store in 1906. This gentleman, Hammond, founded the retail group in 1960. And both him and his father were retail visionaries. They saw trends before anyone else. They started things before anyone else. They started out with a regular small shop selling odds and ends in 1906. And when he founded the retail group, he founded it because he saw some trends in society that he wanted to tap into. At the time, the Danish population at least was moving from old family style setups where the father was out working, the mother was staying at home. So, and women were starting to come into the workplace, and so they needed to be able to shop faster, more easily. Instead of going to 10 shops to buy groceries for your evening meal, he figured out that maybe they wanted to just go to one shop. So he started out with something called Føtex, which in Danish is shortened for food and textile. So he wanted it all in one shop. You go one shop, get what you need, get out, do it quickly, get home, prepare your meal. In the 70s, in Denmark, we had and some of Europe, so we had the oil crisis. So people were not really that affluent at the time. So he figured out, okay, people don't have that much money to buy groceries anymore. Let's make the groceries cheaper. So he set up Netto, which basically is a discount food store. It's not very pretty. Things are in paper boxes, large pallets in the middle of the aisles, but it was cheap, it was fast, and you could put those stores anywhere in the country. They were really small. You could shop there really fast, get what you needed, get out, do it easy. Then later on, as people got more affluent and people had cars to get their groceries from the store to the home, he started looking at, well, if they have cars and they're driving around in them anyway, why not help them buy so many things that they can actually use the car to transport it? So he figured out the big box stores. And he was inspired by Germany. And he called the stores Bilka, which is a shortening of billig kaufen. Because he traveled all around the world, specifically to the US and to Germany to get ideas, to get new things. So now we have 19 of these Bilka stores, big, massive box stores, where you can get everything from a battery, vegetables, food, to a bicycle, a trampoline for your garden. You can even get solar panels for your roof. Anything, basically, you can get in there. So they were visionaries. They saw things before everybody else, and they started out this business on that basic principle that we need to provide convenience for the consumer. We need to be where the consumer is, and we need to ensure that when the consumer has a need, we foresee that need and cater to that need. We are a business that is 100% owned since last year by the Salling Foundations. When he started out the retail group back in the 60s, he made a deal with Maersk. You've probably seen those logos on the big shipping containers. He made a deal with them to invest in the company, to take it where he wanted it to go. At the same time, it's always been the ambition to buy all that back. And when our current CEO, Per Bang, joined the company, he set out on a rampage, I'm almost going to say, but on a campaign at least, to ensure that we will be able to get our own feet under our own table as soon as it was possible. And we started buying back shares as fast as we can get them, as fast as they wanted to get rid of them. And fortunately, last year, we got the rest. We got 100% ownership back to the foundation that is to this day still headed up by the wife of the man who founded the retail organization. She's still there, sitting next to our CEO, running the foundation. As today, since 2012, we donated $133 million to charity to our local communities. Because the guiding principle, as it always has been, is to improve everyday life for our customers. And by donating to the local communities, we can ensure that when somebody goes and buys something in our stores, they will know that by doing that, the football stadium that their kids are playing in is being paid for. That sounds like a bit mercurial to making sure that they shop in our stores so they'll be able to play football. But the idea is that since we are in so many places all across the country, we want to ensure that we can help as many people as possible reach their aspirations, have fun, enjoy life, both by shopping in our stores and by donating as much as we can to charity. Now, I am part of the e-commerce business in our company. It's a small part. You can imagine 1,500 physical stores, and then we have some online. Online actually only started 7 years ago, strangely enough, by selling books. Not that we are going to compare ourselves to Amazon, but we also started selling books. We have these major online channels that we are working with at the time, or at the present. We're doing non-food, obviously. That's easy, online. We have 4 major brands. Bookti is the pure player, and the rest have physical stores. Salling, the one at the bottom, is the name of our 2 big department stores, as you know them from any major city in the world, selling high-end food, high-end clothing, high-end accessories for your house, everything you can basically want in a department store. That is the name of these stores, because they are the key, the brand to the outside world. The rest is set up actually as individual brands that has no definite connection. But as we are now called Salling Group and are sort of playing on the name of the founder, we are trying to bring that together in a shared vision. We do food online. We haven't figured out how to make last mile delivery profitable. So what we're doing is that we are letting people shop online the same price as it is in the store. All you actually pay for are the bags. You don't pay for somebody going around in the store picking it up for you. You don't pay for them to go out and put it in the boot of your car when you drive up to the store. All you have to do is to buy it online. You'll get a message 2 hours later, go and pick it up in the store when it suits you, drive in, they'll put your bags in the boot, you drive off, done. Super, super easy. We do meal boxes. Skein Food is a company that we invested in a few years ago. They started out selling fish, shipping out fish, frozen fish to you directly, and now they're doing whole meal boxes. You get the entire week's worth of meals in a box, recipes, everything, super easy, super convenient. We do flowers. Anybody needs to send flowers every once in a while. We even have our own insurance business, because we figured out that a lot of revenue was coming in from selling product insurance. You buy an Apple, MacBook, any computer, you buy a pair of glasses, whatever you can figure, you want insurance on that product. And we had insurance partners that were selling those products for us and making money for us. But we figured out, if we did it ourselves, we can keep all of it. So we started up an insurance business. It's growing now to different parts of the business, different product insurances. We even have a whole household electronics insurance that insures every single product you have in the household, no matter what it is. And finally, we launched 3 weeks ago our Postal Service. Because again, we were having partners that were sending our packages back and forth. That was fine for us when we needed to send somebody to the consumer. But we wanted to make it even easier, first of all for us and also for the consumer. So in every single store where we can fit it in, we have this blue wall of boxes. And anyone can send anything through this system. You just put your address on the box, put it in there, type in a code, pay for the delivery, and any other consumer can pick that parcel up the day after in any other store in the country. We can also deliver from ourselves, from our own stocks, from our own warehouses to those boxes. And since we know that most of our customers are shopping in our stores anyway, it's super convenient when you want to buy an iPhone and you go down and pick up your groceries, it's ready for you a few hours later to pick up in store. So all of this is just sort of a preface. This is who we are, this is what we're doing. We're doing tons more than this. We have just started rolling out on the Woopty brand a marketplace. We went from 30,000 products in the beginning of 2017 to now having 600,000 products on Woopty by having sellers coming in and expanding our product line. And I'll come back to that a little bit later because it is a challenge to go from 30,000 to 600,000 and still trying to be relevant for each and every consumer. So, our story. Usually, when I do presentations to the exec team or whatnot, what you will see up here are not words. They are charts, numbers, big business development slides. Every slide is self-contained. You can see all of it. You don't even need to listen to me speak. But now I just wanted to tell you a story. And I want to give you just a quick warning to the people in the first row, because when I talk, you can see I like to talk with my hands. And I talked to our head of e-commerce before I left, and he put his hand on my shoulder, he looked at me in the eye, and he said, Jens, I know you're going to get excited. I want you to use that excitement, but please, 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 don't throw the clicker at anyone. So if you're sitting in the first row and it goes flying, just duck, and I'll come and get it. So our story is made up of 4 major parts. If this was a fairy tale, it would be, the doors. The hero had to go through one door at a time, and in the end, he would be able to save the princess from the dragon or whatever. But our doors in this story are these up here. The first part I call the frustration, and I'll come back to why I called it the frustration. Then we have the problem, the solution, and the future. These are the things I'm going to talk to you about today. And in the end, you'll hopefully be able to sit there and feel, well, I may be where they were a few years ago, and I can see that despite all the mistakes, all the money they threw out the window, all the errors they made along the way, there is actually a path forward in all of this. There is a way to get from having an idea of wanting to do digital to actually getting there and maybe not make the same mistakes along the way. So when I joined the company in 2016, they had already set down this strategy. This was the strategy for the whole group towards 2022. As you can see, 1/4 of the entire strategy for the entire group towards 2022 was about e-commerce and digital. Talk about getting the pressure on. This came down, obviously, from the top, but it also came down up from the bottom. We had asked for that privilege to be there to ensure that we can get focus, we can get investment, we can get attention from the entire business. And boy, did we get it. So when I joined, this was already rolling. Like I said before, we had started out this marketplace project. We had started out really improving our consent gathering, so we had 2-point-something million users with consents for marketing. We had just started an organic subscription model for our Føtex stores, where you pay a fee every month and you get 20% discount on every organic food item you can buy in the store. Massive success. We also just started the Bilka to Go online food shopping pickup in store that I told you about before. So there's a lot of things going on, and we had a lot of things sort of moving for us. We had obviously taking the group strategy and sort of scale it down into our digital strategy. As I told you before, we had the business opportunities, we started the marketplace, we started a lot of things that were sort of really moving forward. We had all the consents we needed, and obviously we had a shitload of customers, pardon my language. 6 major online channels, 1,500 physical stores, customers galore, and the data. Imagine how much data you get from all those online channels and 1,500 stores with hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people making purchases every single day. I mean, we were drowning in data, but we were missing something. Because we had it all, we had it all ready. We were just, let's go, let's go, let's go. We were missing a very, very, very important part, the execution platform. Because how do you go from taking all of those consents, all of those consumers, all of those customers, all of that data, all of the good ideas we had in the strategy, and actually do something with it. And this was where the frustration came in. So I'm going to pause a bit here and focus on this word, execution. You see, before I joined the company, they had started talking to a vendor about an execution platform. And the reason I'm focusing on this is that no matter the execution platform you're looking for or that you're actively on, it's so important to remember that you have to drive that platform. The platform is super intelligent. It has AI. It has all the good bits, but the platform doesn't do anything unless you tell it what to do. You have to drive it. You have to set up the KPIs. You have to set up the campaigns. Obviously, it's getting easier and easier and easier, as we saw yesterday with Raj's presentation. But still, you have to do it. You have to sit down, you have to create the content, you have to think about how do I communicate to my customers? Why do I communicate to my customers? I mean, we are more guilty than anyone, I think, in going after low-hanging fruit, thinking, well, we need to do personalization. Okay, fine, let's put a name in an email. Yes, personalized, good, done. No, the tool doesn't drive itself. You have to feed it the content, you have to feed it all the goodness that you can think of in order for it to work. Then you have to test it, and test it again, and test it again, optimize, test it again, revamp it, do it again and again and again. Now, you see the posters everywhere. I don't know if they're in here, but no, it's not. It's the wrong one. They say, Alan says, human-driven personalization does not scale. And it's true. It's so true. But I wish that sentence would be followed with, no matter the tool, people are a requirement to run it. The reason I'm focusing on this is because we made the mistake of investing in the tool and forgetting to invest in people. So we bought the tool and said, fine, now we're ready, let's go. And we were looking around and said, well, who's going to run it? So, coming back here, the frustration. We had everything ready. We had it all prepared. We really wanted to go out. So we were looking for an execution platform. And they had already more or less settled on the execution platform before I joined. And we defined a problem that we wanted to solve. The problem was this. We wanted the right product, the right price, the right time, the right channel to every single customer. That was what we were trying to solve with the execution platform. Let me paint you a little picture. Imagine a big conference room, big old table. This was actually the conference room where we had made a complete replica of the old 60s style conference room from the old location, brought it over to the new modern location. So it had Persian rugs, oak paneling, old oak chairs. They even had the cigar box that they used to use when the exec team was meeting, smoking cigars on the Saturdays. We actually called it the Saturday meeting room. So we were in this room, I was there, IT was there, all our project managers was there, and all the consultants from this company that we wanted to invest in was there. So we were excited. It was a good day. We were finally going to go into the details of this execution platform that we believed could solve the right product at the right price, at the right time, at the right channel for every single customer. That was what we were trying to solve. So we started talking. They started presenting. They showed us this really advanced segmentation engine. Now, it was a bit click-heavy, but that was fine. We could work with it. And then there was sort of a lull in the presentation while they were sort of done with it. This is how you segment, and there was sort of a lull in between. So I think, fine, this is my chance to ask a question. And I asked them, this is super impressive, but how do we get from choosing the users to actually communicating to the users? And you can see them sort of sitting there looking around the room, so who's going to say something, who's going to answer. And finally, one of them said, well, that's not really that hard. You just write up some HTML. We use Notepad. You take that HTML, upload it to an SMTP server, send the users up to that SMTP server, and then you can send out an email to them. Oh, and here you can buy really cheap SMTP servers on Amazon Web Services. The next 5 minutes of his answer I didn't hear, because my mind was just went completely blank. We were buying an execution platform, and all they could do was segmentation. That was where the platform stopped. From there on, there was nothing. So we talked about that a bit and think, okay, this was supposed to be the premier tool in the business, and they couldn't do, well, nothing after segmentation. So we said, fine, okay, maybe it's us. Maybe we are expecting too much of the tool. So we went back to the drawing board and, okay, what do we do? So then we simplified the problem. One unique email to every single customer. Fine, we could do that. No problem. And then we had I had an interesting experience because I got probably the most important telephone call I've ever had in my entire career. There's a lovely lady called Sarah. She's actually walking around down here somewhere. Last name is Harrison. If you see her, find her, give her a big old hug. She called me up and said, hey Jens, this is Sarah, I'm calling from Emarsys. We know that you're already using our email service, but we have this new interesting AI platform that we really want to talk to you about. And she started talking about, predictive algorithms, about super advanced email templates, about product affinity scoring. And suddenly, from that phone call, we were back to the original problem. Right product, right price, right time, right channel for every single customer. Now we were able to go from being frustrated, solving the problem, to what I call the solution. These are some of the things that we have running. Not all of them are 100% built out. Not all of them are completely ready with everything that they need. But I just wanted to give you a few examples and run through them one by one to tell you a little bit about what we are doing. So the first one, fully automated emails. This was an interesting one, because when you have a business that is more than 100 years old, and you have people that have been in that business for a long, long time, like Brendan said yesterday, we know what we're doing. We've been selling these things to customers for 25 years. You don't need to come in and tell us which products we need to sell to which customers. We already know that. So I spent a year trying to convince our sales and purchasing department to give us the chance to use predictive product recommendations in our emails. So they gave me 5 weeks to test it. And in those 5 weeks, we increased revenue from just one email, from having them select which products they wanted to show the customers, to having the system fully automatically select everything in the email. We didn't touch it at all. We just set it up, put predictive elements in, segmented them based on product affinity, sent the email out. 5 weeks, revenue increased 35%. Just that one email. Now we were cooking. So we implemented automatic product recommendations, obviously, in every single email we had. And on website, everywhere you go, every time you see a product, you will see product recommendations. You will see others have also bought. You will see all the stuff that is pretty much standard on every single website in the world that runs a proper e-commerce platform. But for us, it was new. We had nothing like that, so we set it up. We are using Web Channel heavily, and I urge you, if you are on the Emarsys platform, use it. It is an absolutely awesome product. It enables us to go and change the website, change the content, change the layout, change what the customers are seeing in real time without having a 6-month development cycle with our IT department to get just a small element on the website. We can do it ourselves in marketing, no IT help needed. We are using automated audiences to run social media campaigns, AdWords campaigns, both positively and negatively. So if we want to create a campaign for beds, for instance, we would go out and figure out, okay, which customers do we have that did not buy a bed in the last 3 months? And we'll send out a campaign to them. If we wanted to create a campaign for linens, for beds, we will find the ones that did buy a bed and use our money to make a campaign for them. By doing that, we can have a much better ROI in our campaigns, and we can also pay more for those leads because we know they are closer to actually buying the product because we know they didn't buy it already. So we can actually outbid our competitors to ensure that when we go out and do something, it actually works. We're using, obviously, send time optimization. That is a complete no-brainer. Flick the switch, it's on, it's awesome. I'm sure a lot of you, like me, when you get up in the morning, you check your emails, and you go, delete, 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 delete. Email inbox, mess, solve, done, you're ready to go to work. That delete, 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 it's a marketing nightmare. Because you know that when the users do that, they will not see your content, they will not see your messages, they will not see your campaigns. So with send time optimization, we can ensure that that email is not in the inbox when they go delete, 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 delete. It will only get there while they're on the train going to work, or when they sat down at their workstation with their first cup of coffee, and when they came home in the afternoon, ready to actually receive that message. We see huge uplift in open rates by doing this. 20, 25, 30% uplift in open rates. Incentive recommendations is another product that we are starting to roll out, using it carefully, because obviously if you give one discount to one customer and another discount to another customer, and they happen to be neighbors and are maybe a little bit competitive, you're going to get a fight on your hands. But what we're trying to do with it is actually to limit our own reliance on price reductions. Because what we have been doing for a long, long time is to do whole category reductions, meaning it's 50% off bicycles, it's 20% off all refrigerators. And when we do that, by Danish marketing law, we need a regular price for 6 weeks, and then we can lower the price for 3 days. So we try to handle that by sort of having offers running all the time to ensure that there is something in the store that's interesting to buy. Because when we put bicycles 50% down, nobody in their right mind would buy a bicycle when it's regular price. So we have 6 weeks where the bicycle store is closed, and we have 3 days where it's open. So we're trying to move over to a concept of what we call everyday low price, meaning that the price that we actually set down, the 50%, we're still making money on it. I mean, margins are huge in retail, at least in some of the categories. I know Brandon said they were like 2 or 3%, but in some of the categories, we got 40, 50% margins. So we can afford to take the price down. But what we're doing is we're taking the price down, not to the maybe 50% off, but 30% off, keeping it there all the time, and then use incentive recommendations to give those customers that need that extra nudge to convert the 5, 10, 15% extra discount. That means we can keep most of the customers on the everyday low price, which is still competitive compared to everybody else in the market. But the ones that really, really, really need it to convert, we can give them that extra nudge to push them over the edge. It's something that we are really expecting a lot from, but it's rolling out slowly because it's also dangerous to use. Then obviously, our emails themselves is a whole story in itself. Custom templates, product search. We're using automatic prices in our emails. That might seem simple, but actually it's not, because when you use the predictive elements, they're going to go out and find the price as it is on the website, insert it into the email. But all the products where we do, that we insert ourselves, the price that we set when we create the email is the price that's going out to the customer. So what we've done is that we've taken our entire product catalog, loaded it up in the last one in the corner, the RDS. It's updated every hour. So every time we send an email, if we have products we inserted ourselves, there's a little tag that goes out, finds that product as it is in the product catalog, which is the price that it is on the website, takes that price, inserts it into the email, and sends it out. That means we can create mails a long time in advance and don't have to trust that the promotion department remembers 16 weeks after we got the price to lower the price on the right day on the website for the right product. It pulls the prices automatically. So if the price is wrong on the website, it's going to be equally wrong in the email, so we don't have a discrepancy there. And obviously, Smart Insights, it drives everything. That's the AI module. You heard about it. You probably know it already. It helps us, as Brandon said yesterday, don't go for the low-hanging fruit, go for the major pain points. Smart Insights helps us focus on the major pain points, because we've been doing low-hanging fruit for years and years and years, and it doesn't really work. Going for the pain points is so critical, and Smart Insights helps us do that by finding the customers that are about to leave, finding the customers that stop buying, finding the customers that just visit, don't really do anything else, finding the customers that just go to the website to find out when the store is open. We make it easy for them to find that information by taking away all the products, because they don't want to buy anyway, so we're trying to focus on getting them to get the information they want, get a good experience, go out and buy everything they can possibly carry in the store. And finally, RDS. This is where this might go flying, so I'm warning you. RDS is, I can't say enough about it. I'm a data geek. I'm happy to admit that. I know Raj said that they didn't want to talk about AI because they were the label geeks, and so I'm a data geek. I love data. I sit and work in databases all day long. RDS is the most impressive thing that we've seen for a long time. It enables us to, first of all, get all of the data out of Emarsys so we can use it anywhere else in the business. It also enables us to get all the data that we have, all the offline purchases, all the stuff that we have in our own databases, into Emarsys so we can segment on it. Imagine having our organic subscription model for Føtex. When you go out in a store and you buy something, we know everything you've bought. So if we know that there's a customer buying organic carrots every 4 days, when we then send out an email to that user, we will know, should we show him organic carrots because it's on day 3, and he needs to know, remember to go out in the store tomorrow because they're on sale, or do we show him 10 packs of salami for 100? All based on offline purchases. We can bring that to the online channels, to modify the online channels and to optimize the online channels so we can communicate omni-channel. This brings us to the last bit, which is the future. These are just a few quick things about where we are moving, where we are going. First one is a bit of a pickle. We have for years and years and years sent out leaflets to every single customer. 50, 60, 80, sometimes 100 pages every single week with offers from the stores. What we've seen over the last 3 years is that penetration in the country as a whole has gone down from 39% to 22%, meaning they are being read less and less and less. And it is a blast concept. We send the same leaflet out to everybody. So what we're trying to do is, and we're talking online here, because I wish we could do a complete personalized leaflet to every single customer, but 80 pages unique to every single customer, printing that up, getting it to the right people. I mean, our tax system can't even get messages out to the regular people in the country, so it's going to be a nightmare. We're going to solve that at some point, but for now, what we're trying to do is to generate a personalized leaflet with the same offers, but you can view them online. They will be sorted, they will be arranged, they will be organized based on your personal preferences, based on your personal behavior, and the offers themselves are going to be tailored to each and single customer. So if you know a customer is buying milk every 4 days, we can make sure that he has a discount code for milk when he needs to go into the store and get it, to get him to go to the store, to get him to convert. I want, and this is one of my personal things, I want logins on every single app we have, on every single website we have, because as you also heard yesterday, if we ask the users for data and tell them why we want that data and what they're going to get out of it, they're going to give it to you. So by having a login, we can ensure that the information we want is captured, we can use it, the users know exactly what they gave us, and they voluntarily tell us who they are, what they like. When we combine that with all the things we gather up about their behavior, then we have something really impressive we can use. Obviously, Web Channel, as I said, is an awesome, awesome, awesome product. We want to roll that out even further. We want to ensure that when anyone comes to the website, no matter who they are, they will get a tailored, individualized experience on the website, no matter where they go. Finally, or almost finally, last year in Berlin, at the Revolution event, there was a company called My Theresa that had a presentation from Germany. And they had done something that really, really impressed me, because they had taken every single email from their e-commerce platform, every order confirmation, every track and trace, every email, and put that through Emarsys. That meant that they could have tailored, beautiful content in each email. They could ensure that the message that users were getting were tailored to that specific user. They could ensure that if they had marketing consent, when they send out an order confirmation, they could upsell. If they send out track and trace information, they could upsell. So getting all of these things to run through Emarsys suddenly opens up a whole host of options to tailor every single email you get to the customer. And finally, RDS, omnichannel. Everybody talks omnichannel. Everybody wants omnichannel. And as we figured out Monday morning, where we were sitting at the customer advisory board talking with Brendan, nobody really knew what omnichannel were. Everybody had their own definition of omnichannel. But what we are trying to do with RDS is to ensure that when we talk to our customers, we talk to them as omnichannel as we can get. So we can get all the offline data into Emarsys and use that powerful system to communicate both online and offline by merging up all the data.